Hello YouTube, how are you? My name is Mike, coming to you from Health and Wealth. That's the name of the channel. Thanks for subscribing, by the way. We're almost at 1,000, chugging along here. So without the 944 of you so far, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today, and making these almost daily videos for you. So I hope that if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit it. We're at about 50-50 of who's watching these videos. So if I bring you any value at all, and you feel that you can support this channel by hitting that subscribe, make it happen, Captain, because I would love that. So thanks for joining me today. I want to talk about yieldmax. I want to talk about NVDY. I want to talk about MSTY. I want to see how they're doing so far this week and what we need to look at for the remainder of this week. So let's dive into that. This is actually take number, I think, 4. So the first one totally messed it up. Second one totally messed it up. Third one, my drive died on me, so I just had to replug it in and start over here. So we're gonna see how this goes. All right, so thanks again for being here. Let's make my face a little bit lower here. I've logged right into yieldmax's website. I'm gonna go ahead and link that website down below in the first comment, so if you want to open that up at the same time as watching this video, if you're watching it on a computer, make it happen, Captain. I definitely recommend taking a look at this website. It has pretty close to up to date of what they do. They do change whenever they make any changes. It happens at nighttime, anywhere between I think 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. So if you take a screenshot before that and take a look after, you can see the differences. You can also download them. I don't do that because I'm really cheap and I don't have Excel on my computer like the paid version of it. So that's the reason I don't do it. So let's take a look here. The first few things that we're showing here is the United States Treasuries. This is where yieldmax stores their money. So this fund itself, NVDY, has about $900 million in it, just over $900 million in it. And so you can see they've stored a lot of that money in these treasuries, which earns them interest. So a pretty easy way to make interest there. The rest of it they use for buying options. Okay, so should I say buying options? I should say buying and selling options. Maybe a little combo A, combo B, right? So first thing we're looking at here is I want to look at their synthetic options. So the first one that I have highlighted here, I'll put an arrow next to it, is September the 20th. So that's coming up here in 16 days from today. And you can see here it has a call of $116 per share. So the goal here, this is a synthetic option. We have it here. We also have it here. I'll indicate that with the arrows. One's a call, one's a put. And so they kind of off-put each other. And it's for 84,540 shares, I guess, right? That's what we're calling them, shares. And so that's basically how yieldmax is able to afford doing cash secured calls or covered calls, if you want to call it that. So that's 116. So the goal is for the synthetic option, or for the price of NVIDIA, to be above 116 at that time. If it's not, there's a couple ways that this could go down. So the fund managers at yieldmax can choose to close that option and pay money. That's happened before. They could roll that option to a further date, and that would cost money to do the roll, but they would gain money in the new premium they would get, but probably not as much. So that's the synthetic option. It appears like we have thrown all of our eggs into one basket here, and I actually don't mind it too much, but they did this yesterday. They closed a few of their options because of yesterday's tank of NVIDIA. And I want to talk to you about that tank in just a bit here. But then they opened up a new call here for $118. But you can see it's that entire synthetic option there, 84,540. Closing for this Friday. So September the... Oh, hold on one second. That's a lie. I lied to you. Next Friday? Okay, so it's like a week and a half. A week and a half of 118. Oof. Okay, let's take a look at the price. So NVIDIA today is up $1.08. Now I'm filming this on my break here, so I'm still in the morning time, so that could definitely change by the time you're watching this, but currently at $109.40. So again, the goal here, if I go back there, is for it to not go over at this point $118. So, you know, it's kind of risky if you ask me. If we put all your eggs in one basket, the entire world says diversify, diversify, diversify. So why aren't we doing that when it comes to the options here as well? So maybe kind of stagger it. Maybe do a 117, 18, 119, 120 for them. Why not? Right? Just to gain that staggered premium. But here we are with all of our eggs in one basket. They decided to do this yesterday. And so they closed a bunch of their options. We did make money on those. It's good. Then they reopened this one up here. And again, we made money on the premium. The only risk that we have is if NVIDIA says, boom, we're going to skyrocket again. And we get over 118 by next Friday. So keep an eye on that, and we'll see how it goes. I want to take a look at this NVIDIA stock. So yesterday, if we take a look, it dropped, I think, 9% in one day. Something fishy happened yesterday. So there was no news throughout the day at all. And then about 20 minutes after the market closed, a story was released that you can see it here. DOJ reportedly issues subpoenas in AI antitrust. And so the rumor is what happening here is that the DOJ said, we don't like that you are picking and choosing who you're selling your chips to. And, that's going against antitrust. So they don't want to create monopolies, right? So NVIDIA selling their chips to one company or the other, or just to one company. The DOJ doesn't like that because they think that one company will become a monopoly, thus increasing, prices out there in the world. So, what NVIDIA is saying is these companies are ready for our chips. And the other companies that are complaining are just not ready for the chips. We would love to sell them the chips, but we don't have enough yet to sell everybody the chips. So this company is ready right now. This is what we have. Here are the chips. And the DOJ didn't like that. So that story was leaked 20 minutes after the market closed, but it dipped all day. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder who knew about that before the story was leaked, right? So that's going to be our NVDY and NVDA talk here. Again, our goal here is to hope for the stock price to not get above $118 by next Friday. If it does, then we'll have to go discover what's going to happen at that point. All right, next up, let's talk about MSTY. Oh my goodness, you guys. MSTY. Let's talk about MSTY. Here we go. So I've got MSTY open on the website here. You can see their current distribution rate is 106%. Same story as NVIDIA. I don't think that we're going to get paid out as much as we have in the last 5 months here. Again, same exact story. The fund managers at yieldmax failed us. I say that a little loosely, so if you're watching, don't get offended. But the first 2 weeks weren't as good as the last 2 weeks were, and so they had to pay money to close options, and that's the opposite of what we're looking for. So let's take a look down here, and we'll see what the current holdings are. So they have a gigantic cash holding right now, $487 million, $806,941.06. So huge cash holding right there. We have a synthetic option. You can kind of tell, usually it's further away. So this one's October 18th of 139. If we can see the 139 again, and usually it's down at the bottom, but there it is there. I'll hit it with the arrow for you. There's the put, 139, same date, right? So that 35,115 shares allows us to, or our fund managers to purchase calls, weekly calls. And so that's what I want to take a look at right now. So I think we have a bunch of them. And this is what I said about NVIDIA. I wish we had scattered amounts so that if the underlying stock mstr just skyrockets, then at least we're not going to be crushed on one option with all of our eggs in one basket, right? So let's take a look here. I'm going to start the opposite of Drake. I'm going to start from the top, work my way down. So we have this one closing this week, $145. You know what? Let's take a pause. Let's look at the price of mstr MicroStrategies right now. And I just want to go to the 1-day chart on this. So it's up a little bit today, but not too much. It's at 122.51. All right, so let's remember that 122.51. So we want these calls to, or the underlying price to stay underneath these calls. So it's looking pretty good, but have you guys seen Mister before? It is it's like a rocket ship ready to go as soon as Bitcoin takes off. It takes off because Mister owns a 1% stake in Bitcoin. And so here we go. We have 145, we have 143, 138. So we're getting lower, but you can see these are the amount of shares they have per each one. And then we have, oh, it looks like they may have 2 synthetics out there. And then there's the other call right there, 137. Okay. So lots of different options out there for us. Again, the goal is for this week for Mister to stay under that 137, I would say. It looks like we have another one right here. Let's look at the math on that. That's 20 days from now. Yeah. So September 24th, $133. Okay, perfect. I just want to give me one moment here. Yeah. All right, nice. So a bigger one there, 1580 for the 24th there. Cool. And one last time, I just want to look at my calendar. The 24th. Ah, okay. So that's a Tuesday. So usually that means that's going to be part of the synthetic option. It's not closing on the Friday. So that's a Tuesday that day. Interesting enough. But all right. So the target again is to keep it below 138. And so if you see Mister going above 138, then that it just means that the fund managers at yieldmax are going to have to close those options either early or they're going to have to pay to close those options if it gets above 138. And so that's bad for our back pocket. We want that price to stay underneath at that point so that we can make money on these weekly calls. All right. Taking a look at Bitcoin price today. Let me just refresh this thing here. So the 1 day is just up a little bit here, but if you go over the last 5 days, it's been down quite a bit. Last 1 month, same thing, down 5%. 6 months, down 15%. But the 1 year is dramatically up. And so that's why Mister itself basically follows the same chart. You can see 1 year. It looks very similar to Bitcoin's chart there as well. So as Bitcoin goes up, so does Mister. And so for us, we hope that it doesn't get like Tesla, where it has those massive up and downs, because that could create some pain for us whenever it comes to these options that our fund managers are putting together. But yeah, so far so good. Again, I don't think it's going to be as lucrative as a distribution as before. But if you haven't watched my previous videos, I've come out with a new mic strategy just for me. What I'm going to be doing is I'm letting MSTY drip. And so I only have 75 shares, so that 75 shares should probably buy me 4 or 5 shares this month. I'm also going to put the equal amount from my NVDY distribution into MSTY. So if the MSTY drip is 5 shares, I'm going to put 5 of my own money into that as well from the NVDY shares. The rest of it is going over to QDTE. That QDTE just paid or just announced today they're paying out 31 cents for the shortened week here, which is pretty darn good. And then I'm going to build up that. So what I'm going to do is the wheel strategy, but with dividends. So taking the QDEE distributions, putting them into MSTY, taking the NVDY, putting in a little bit into MSTY, and then most into QDTE, building up 3 positions at the same time. I'm already capped out. Well, I'm 14 shares away of NVDY from being capped out to where I want to be, and trying to build that MSTY up there to the same spot as well as QDTE. That's the goal. All right, you guys. Well, if you're still here, I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned. I'm going to put a couple bloopers at the end here. I totally messed up like 3 times in a row here, so I hope you enjoy them. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the bloopers, and I hope that you have a really great rest of your day. Bye for now. Good Morning. Hello, YouTube. How's the hair looking today? Try that again in a bit here. Hello, YouTube. My name is Mike, coming to you from Health and Wealth. Thanks for tuning in today, and appreciate you watching this video. So today I want to talk about a mid-week report on how NVDY and MSTY are doing with their call. Hello, YouTube. My name is Mike, coming to you from Health and Wealth. Thanks for joining me today. If you didn't know my name is Mike, then this means it's the first time you're watching me, and I want to welcome you to the channel. I appreciate you for being here, and hope you enjoy the video. So today I want to review how NVDY and MSTY are doing with the fund managers of yieldmax creating an option strategy to pay us a monthly dividend. So I want to go over that.